Hi again. So as I promised, here's a quick review of the key points for nouns. As I said in the first video, there are 5 declensions. Let me write that down. 5 declensions. And there are 7 cases. Each case has a different meaning, and I'll go over these cases and their meanings right now. And by the way, we only covered 5 of these cases in each declension, because the last 2 are very rarely used. So let me write down all the cases. Nominative, genitive, genitive. Let me write down the entire case. Nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, and finally ablative. Okay, so the functions of the nominative case is the subject, and it's just translated as itself, how a subject would be translated. There's really no accompanying word. Genitive is used for possession. It shows possession. And it's translated as of blank. And actually, I'll introduce another way it can be translated. Blanks. So, like the dog of Jane or Jane's dog. Okay, so the dative is used for the indirect object, and it's translated as to blank. And the accusative is the direct object, and finally ablative, is translated as with something or by something. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and give you a little review of dictionary entries. And the dictionary entry consists of the nominative, genitive, gender, and meaning. So let me write that down. Dictionary entry. It consists of the nominative in the first word, genitive is the second word, or genit, I'll write that, since the third letter is the gender, both start with G-E-N, gender, and finally you have the meaning, and usually that's after a colon, or meanings. Okay, so I will now review all of the endings for each of the declensions, and I'll write that in a different color. Or no, I'll go ahead and just write first, second, and second has 2 different cases, or genders. Third, third, and then there's fourth, because there's 2 sets of endings, and finally you have fifth. And let me write the gender next to it. Fifth is almost always, 100% of the time, going to be feminine. Second, there are actually 2 ways, 2 different endings. There can be masculine ending, and there can also be neuter case endings. The third declension can be either masculine or feminine, so feminine or masculine. And I'm including them in the same line because the masculine and feminine have the exact same set of endings. Now, the other set of endings is used for the neuter. The fourth declension can be either masculine or feminine, like the third declension, feminine or masculine, and then it also has a set of endings for the neuter. And now finally, the fifth declension, as I just mentioned, it is almost always going to be feminine. So now I'll go ahead and give you the endings. So feminine, it will always be a for the nominative and I for the genitive, and these are the endings of the dictionary entry. Second declension masculine will always be us for the nominative and E for the genitive. Second declension neuter will always be for the neuter, nominative, and E for the genitive. Now, third declension, the masculine and feminine endings can be blank I'll just put a dash there or blank there for the nominative since they're all different, and then an "-ese" for the genitive. Now, neuter, it has the exact same dictionary entry, but I just included it twice because they use two separate sets of endings. And now fourth, if it's masculine or feminine, the ending is oos. If it is neuter, the ending is, that was wrong. The ending is oos. And if it is neuter, then it will look like oos. And finally, fifth declension, almost always feminine, it will look like S and then AE. Okay, so that was a quick review of the main points about nouns. If you didn't understand something or if you're having trouble with any of the concepts, I suggest reviewing the previous videos, or you can contact me by looking at the Q&A section or emailing me directly through the email address listed on the homepage. So in the next tab, you can go and we'll be discussing verbs, or you can skip ahead and look to the grammar concepts. I just laid it out in the way that I was taught. The entire website, but feel free to go at your own pace, go to whatever videos you want to see, watch them as many times as you want, just study away.